A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to talk about separative planets. Separation means moving away or cutting off, moving away, drifting apart from people, things that we love, situations in life. What are the planets that cause such moving away, drifting apart and cutting off from those people, things, situations? We are going to look into that. How does that happen and how do these planets cause it? What are the reasons for such causes? So, we will work on these separative planets today. But before that, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your comments and suggestions there. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do, and do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. As the word separation itself suggests, as I told you, it means moving away, moving adrift, having a rift between two people or in a situation such that people whom we love at that moment will go away from our lives. What are the planets that are involved there? Well, they say the malefics are, and very truly so. So, what are the malefics to begin with? The malefics are Sun. Sun is generally not considered a malefic, it's considered to be a cruel planet. So, we will take Sun into account and we will see why we are taking Sun into account. Sun, Mars, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu. And while we are understanding the separative planets, to begin with, I will tell you that there are many ways that we can see how these separating planets operate. And in coming episodes, I would like to take it up, provided you want to learn more about it. Today, I am just taking up one of their significations, and that is the Karakatvas, how they work on. I will not even be taking up the entire number of planets. I will just take up probably 2 or 3 so that we can intensely understand the modus operative of these separative planets. So, we begin with obviously the Sun. So, what are the Karakatvas of Sun? Let us talk about that. That can cause separative effects. So, what Sun burns, it's the king. Wherever that it sits, it dominates that area. Taking no prisoners, it does not allow other planets to prosper in that area. We've known the fact that when other planets are with Sun, they get combust or they lose out on their energy. So, Sun wherever it sits, it creates a kind of a domination, a determination, it engulfs the entire area and it burns up. Sun burns, it produces that heat, it produces that light, it wants to be the dominating factor there. So, it will not allow others of that home to prosper under it. Consequently, that place where that Sun is sitting, that may be your brightest spot, but people relating to that area, they may get separated from you. Now, what happens if that very Sun is in the Lagna? You want to burn bright, you want to create, the Lagna is your individuality. You are because of that Lagna. So, you want to shine very brightly, you want to be the brightest person in the vicinity. Anybody and everybody should just come and tell you, yes, you are good. So, that is what you want to be. But in consequence, what happens? You are burning yourself up. How do you burn yourself up? You are just wanting to do so hard work, you simply want to be the best in your field. For that, you may burn midnight oils, you might get up early in the morning and start working again just to be on the platform. So you may not be taking good care of your health. You may be overworking, overexerting yourself, and that can really cause a lot of problem in your longevity. Okay? Now, let's take another planet. Say it's Saturn. So what does Saturn, what is the attribute of Saturn that can make it separative? How does it work? Saturn is said to be a Vata planet. It is the airy planet. It is dark and damp. That means it can cause depression. One, also, since it's an airy planet, it can simply drift away or have a sense of indifference, depending again on the combination of planets or the aspect, etc. That we can take in some other video. Saturn can give you depression regarding the area that it is sitting, or simple indifference. You may not want to fight the person, but you are least bothered about the person. But Saturn is also the Karam Karak. It is telling you need to work for that. So you will maintain that person, you will maintain your duty towards that person, but you will not be involved in the relationship as such. The sweetness, the emotional attachment that relationship so demands, Saturn is unable to give. And Saturn says, I will do what is required, but I will not get involved. So we can understand the difference between what Sun and Saturn can both give if they are also sitting in different charts in the same house. For example, if Saturn is sitting in the 7th house, it is Digbali, it is very strong, but it is saying that I will work for my companion, I will do good for my companion, I will make sure that my companion, my partners, professional or personal, are very happy there. They are doing great work because Saturn is Digbali, it will work to do that. But at a certain level, I will not be involved with them emotionally or mentally. My duties I will fulfill. This is what Saturn as the Karaka is trying to tell you. What we have done here is we have taken the house into account because we took the 7th house, which is about partners and professional and personal. And we have placed the Karakatvas of the separation of that particular planet. If now I take up Sun, we have done the Karakatvas of Sun, and now we have also done the Karakatvas of the 7th house, which is partners, professionals, standing and everything. You would want to dominate the entire relationship. It's got to be me. I have to shine in this relationship. As a result, relationship which is always about us and not me will simply burn off. It will simply become separated by your arguments, by your domination, by your very stubbornness. You will see things will simply fritter away. The person would not want to be with you. Person can say, I don't want to be so dominated. If I take another planet here, say Rahu. If Rahu is placed here, what can it give you? Rahu is all about illusions. Rahu is all about misunderstandings. And Rahu is about creating a lot of anxiety. So if Rahu is placed there in your 7th house, which is again about profession, about partners, how is it going to affect you? This is what we want to learn. And that is what you will comment in the video and I will answer back. Let's take up any other house that you want to do it. So let's take up the 4th house. What happens if Saturn is sitting there? What happens if Sun is sitting there? And what happens if Rahu is sitting there? The 3 planets. And we will make separative planets part 2 with the Mars and Ketu next time. So now let's take up the Karakatvas of the 4th house. What are the Karakatvas of the 4th house? The Karakatva of the 4th house is car. It is vehicle. It is also, when I am talking about the living Karakatvas, it is my family's security and it's also my family's my peace, my sense of happiness, my sense of peace, which is very much alive. It is also the closed home with live people in there. What happens when Sun sits there? Sun says, I am the dominating factor in the house. So you're forever angry, you are very dominating in the house, you're forever looking to people and saying, do this, do that, do that. You're creating a lot of friction there. And as such, people may not be very comfortable when you are in the house. This way, the peace of the house can be disturbed because of that Sun in your 4th house. What do you take from there? You can afford to make yourself less disciplined, but that's what you need to change. If we need to understand how it's operating, we need to see that it is simply becoming too dominant, too hot-headed to take anything from the other side. As a result, people living in that area, living in that house, simply would drift away or simply run away because of so much of dominance and heat. What happens if Rahu is sitting there? If Rahu is sitting there, it can, during the transits and things that we have to observe with the dashas and everything, create certain amount of misunderstandings between you and the people in the house, such that the peace that you're looking for in the house can be highly compromised. Since the 4th house is also talking about your mother, it can also cause problems between you and your mother, which can definitely work on your peace and your psyche. So this is something that we need to work on. Here I have told you about Rahu and Sun. You need to tell me in the comment box how Saturn, if it's sitting in the 4th house, will operate. Okay? And similarly, Mars and Ketu are also said to be separative planets. In any other video, we can take up Mars and Ketu also, just looking at their karakattvas, and we can see how they will give results in the houses that they are placed. While we are moving towards the end of this video, I would also tell you that there are many ways to understand these separative planets. Give you a hint and leave you to comment and tell us whether you want on these topics also for videos to be made. You can use the karakattvas of the house that these separative planets are the lords of, and wherever that they are going and sitting, how would they operate there for their own houses. You can also use the separative planets as the 12th house lord and double whammy there, because 12th house lord is also the one that causes you a lot of losses. It is also a separative planet par excellence. Let me take up a real chart for you, give you an example so that you can work on the separative planets in your charts better. So this example is of where you can very clearly see with the results that I have told you that the Lagna Saptam, the one in the 7th house, are under a lot of separative influence. So what are the influence? Sun and Rahu in the Lagna. Rahu causes a lot of illusion and Sun again brilliance, independence that I want for myself to establish my own identity. And I will do anything because Rahu is sitting there. I will do anything to create that identity. Rahu, don't forget, is not just a karmic planet. It is a highly materialistic planet. So it's telling me that I will do anything in my preview to create a very high materialistic image of myself. Let's move on to the 7th house. Again, Saturn is also aspecting the 1st house, Lagna. So what does it say? That I will use all my brain also, but it's also saying that I will not be able to take good care of myself. I will have burnouts for having worked so hard to create my credibility and my credentials to be on the top of the ladder. Again, now let's see the 7th house. The 7th house is again Ketu placed there, Saturn is there and aspected by Sun. Lot of separative influences there. So, Saturn placed there very clearly states, as I told you, I will take care, but I will simply not be emotionally or mentally attached to that person. What does the aspect of Sun say? I will want to dominate my partner. As a result, my partner might just run away. Finally, the Lord of the 7th house, it is also being aspected by Mars, and so, which is a separative planet. You can also write in the comment box what do you think must have happened, because Mars is aspecting Mercury, the Lord of the 7th house. As such, the person is married, has been very dominant, and yet has not been emotionally attached to the partner, in the sense that though they live together, the person does what has to be done for the partner, but has no marriage as such, because the 7th house is kind of detached and also burnt out due to domination. This is how we need to understand and check on different charts, how separative planets working on charts will show which house, which karakatva, which planets will be affected, and as such, which are the relations in life that will bring us pain and separation. Do let us know how you found that video. Until we meet with you again,
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.